believe me, it is so much quicker now. Yeah, it's running proper boost and it makes such a difference. Okay, so I really felt the need to make this video, guys, just because of the pain and frustration that this specific issue has caused me for the last 3, maybe 4 months. Now, I'm going to go back a few months when I first started to notice the issue. And the issue I'm talking about here, by the way, is if you are losing power or you feel like you're losing boost, and genuinely your car is effectively having intermittent boost or power problems, which is kind of what happened to my little thing over there. So those of you who are new to the channel, that is a 250 horsepower Abarth 500 or Abarth 595, whatever you want to call it. I've had an upgraded turbo put on it, and it's been running 250 horsepower for most of all of last summer, up until about maybe end of November last year, where I started to notice every now and again the car would just, it wouldn't feel like it was pulling as it should do. The thing, it all properly came to light when I was having a little run either side with a IHI 500 Abarth, which is the smaller turbo version of that. Well, that's a completely different turbo, but it's a smaller version of that, and it was running about 180 horsepower. And effectively in third gear and fourth gear, we were almost level. I wasn't really gaining that much advantage on him. And then I really started to think to myself, hang on a sec, something's not quite right here. Initially, I thought loads of things which could be, I mean, with turbocharged cars, there's loads of things that could potentially go wrong with them, particularly modified turbocharged cars. So, as you would always do, the first thing I was going to do was check the boost pipes, because I thought potentially I'm leaking boost. And what you would hear was when I was on full throttle, you would hear the turbo spooling, but it almost felt like a bit of a kettle, and it was almost like air or something wasn't right. The turbo was spinning, but the power just wasn't being laid down. So, I took it to the guys at ABtv, who, by the way, have been absolutely fantastic. It's just come back from its major service, but the car now runs unbelievably well, guys, as in, like, seriously, it's fast. But back to the point. So I went through pretty much the whole of the winter period with the car not really running as it should be, and the winter time it felt slow. It felt like a bit of a slug, if I'm honest with you, and the loss of power and loss of boost was really starting to frustrate me. So then last week I took it back to ABtv because it needed its major service, and whilst we were there we did a full diagnostics on the car to try and figure out exactly what was wrong with it. So the first thing I did, I bought a replacement recirc valve, because I thought potentially it could be the recirc valve that was letting out air, because we checked all the pipes before and the pipes were absolutely fine. Checked the recirc valve, no, it was fine, nothing wrong with the recirc valve. So then I'm starting to think, great, it's going to be something more expensive, it's going to be something like the actuator. So we ran an actuator test. So we unplugged the vacuum line, plugged this fancy device where you pump in the boost. I'm not entirely sure, I'm not technical, so don't kill me for that, but pumping up all the boost. And actually the one thing I did realise is the actuator was absolutely fine. In fact, the actuator can hold a significant amount of boost. I didn't even realise, which is absolutely ridiculous. So awesome, which means there's more legs on that turbo should I ever decide to do something to it. If I decide to do something to it, or if I was to ever sell the car, if somebody else decided to do something to it, you can probably turn the turbo up a little bit more. But anyway, so the actuator was absolutely fine, no issues with the actuator whatsoever. So then I'm thinking, what else can it be? So Paul from ABtv took it out, he plugged the laptop into the port, went for a drive, and started to look at all the readings and proper Frankenstein kind of stuff that I have really no clue about whatsoever, but I'm hoping that this video will help people. I will get to the point, I promise. Effectively what he saw was the air reading, air mixture and fuel mixture reading, and the voltage on one of the sensors just wasn't right. It was getting stuck and it didn't feel didn't feel like it should be doing what it should be doing. The other thing I noticed actually, and I'll overlay a photo of it now, is the amount of times that Tony from Tune for Performance has done an ECU remap on that to make sure that it could be perfected, and he's absolutely nailed it. 17 times that car has been plugged up for an ECU tune, which is amazing. You know, I gave the car in to Tony to map to get it to 250 horsepower, and the fact that he's done 17 tunes on it is absolutely bonkers. So Tony, the man. Again, attention to detail, spot on. But what that did flag up was that because those sensor readings were not right, effectively it was a lambda sensor. And we replaced the lambda sensor, and lo and behold, the car is running like an absolute flipping train again. It is flying, and I'm not even exaggerating when I say this, guys. It is flying. And I think, just to put it into perspective as to the difference this makes, you probably won't be able to feel it on camera, but believe me, it is so much quicker now. Yeah, it's running proper boost, and it makes such a difference. Oh my word, guys. Woo! Yeah, that's what it's about. Anyway, let's drop it down a notch and head back home and change clothes, I guess. And I just can't believe that it was something so simple. Obviously, naturally, I'm thinking to myself, great, because it means that I'm not going to have to pay a silly amount of money to fix the car. But the reason that I wanted to make this video was just plain and simply because if any of you guys in the Abarth community or turbo community, I guess, cars with turbos or anything like that, if you're noticing that your car isn't performing as it should be, or you're feeling a loss of power, you're feeling a loss of boost or whatever it may be, check the lambda sensor. And the one time, ironically, when it was working right, the car, was a couple of weekends back before for the Bicester Heritage meet, where it was really hot that day. So it's clear that temperature had a big thing with regards to how that dodgy sensor worked. And obviously because of the cold months we had over winter, that effectively meant that I believe whether the sensor wasn't getting hot enough or whatever. But here's an overlay of what that sensor currently looked like once we pulled it out. Apparently also it could have been something to do with the petrol affecting it. I'm not really sure. But basically, in summary, the 250 BHP Abarth now runs like an absolute dream. It's had its major service, it's back in the game, and it's absolutely rapid. I know there's not been much movement and it's been one camera and it's pretty much been one take, but I felt that this was an update that would hopefully be helpful to anybody having the same problem. So if you are having the same problem, I hope this helps. Give the video a like, thumbs up, smash the like button. Let's try and get some good likes on this and some comments. Comment below what you think. I'll be keen to hear your thoughts. But yeah, that's about it really. Subscribe, and of course I'm going to see you soon. Bye bye.